Ladies and gentlemen, after having done several partial harvests and you're now ready to do your last and final fish harvest, you realize that your pond liner got damaged due to wear and tear. You notice that there were seepages, and you also noticed that in some areas the pond liner was lifting kind of like a balloon. And then you also realize that there were some construction defects with the pond. On the shallow end, the dikes were not properly raised and compacted. They are actually lower on the other end, meaning you could not fill up the pond to capacity, because when the water reaches that level, it starts overflowing. So if you're currently harvesting and you're wondering how to clean the pond post-harvest, and generally how to prepare your pond for the next restocking, and maybe you've experienced some of these challenges that I've mentioned, then this video is for you. Hello everyone, my name is Nefuno Kabwe. Welcome back to my channel. I like to do videos to do with fish farming, natural hair care, and I like gardening as well. In this video, I'm with my team from Fuse Farm in Nangoma at my dear friend Sheila's farm, assisting them to do their last harvest. We'll be helping them prepare the pond for the next restocking. What we're going to be doing is that we'll be cleaning the pond, mending. We'll also be making corrections on the dikes as well as the outlets. But we're starting with the fun part, the last harvest. So let's get into it. Before we go any further, just make sure you click subscribe, share, and like. The fun part is that we're going to be able to have the same fish for lunch. So the harvest started well. We started at around 6 o'clock in the morning. It's important for you to prepare adequately before you do your harvest. You make sure that you drain the water, especially when you know that you're going to be cleaning the pond on that day. You make sure the pond is well drained. Like, you remove the water. The water that is in the ponds, a 10 by 40, takes a very long time to be drained. So it really won't be very helpful for you to start draining on the day that you want to be cleaning the pond. You'll find that you're wasting a lot of time, unless you want to incur further costs by using a pump to pump out the water. But if you are draining the normal way of draining, you need to make sure that you drain out the water. You leave just enough to allow the fish that is in the pond to survive. So as you can see, the water level was there around the top there where there's white stuff. All that part was drained. So what we have here is water just at the deeper end. At the shallow end, we have absolutely no water. So this is very helpful for us because the draining will be easier and faster. The Nangoma team seemed to have challenges using the flat net because they're used to the net with a tail, but we didn't have the net with a tail. So the Fuse team had to come in. We managed to catch some fish. We iced it, and we got some to take to the traditional grill, drying or smoking, whatever you call it, to make dried fish. Benzu basiga muri bawo nnyo anwa munzano. Yeah, so this is the speciality for Avi's Little Haven in Nangoma Farm. So if you would like to have some fish, some dried fish or smoked fish, I don't know what you call it, but it's not really smoked. It doesn't really have the smoked effect that we know. It tastes sun-dried without the smoke. Choose which one you want. There are others that want it semi-dry, which we call motomoya. So if you would really like to have very fresh, straight from the pond motomoya, you can contact Madam Sheila Nkonge Piri. Her contacts are down below. So if you're in Mumbwa, Nangoma, Stumbeko, and Mwembeshi, make your orders and buy some fresh fish. It's as fresh as it comes, straight from the pond onto the fire. I must say I really enjoyed. After the harvest, we had a lot of sludge that remained at the bottom of the pond. A lot of it collected at the deeper end. The reason was that the drainage pipe had somehow stopped working and it was a bit raised. It wasn't really at the lowest point. So at some point, some water stopped going. So we needed to check it. We started sweeping the ponds now using brooms from the shallow end towards the deeper end. Then when we reached the deeper end, we had to now manually throw out the water with buckets. It's a workout which requires teamwork. You could use a pump if you have one. However, if there's too much sludge and there's also sand, there's a point when the pumps get clogged up. So the best is just to make sure that you correct your drainage so that you reduce the workload. Because there was excess pond liner, which was lifting, contributing to the air pockets and air bubbles, we needed to ensure that we pull it up and tighten it up so that we don't have the lifts anymore and the pond is airtight. It's actually long, huh? There was a lot of wasting, huh? But you never know. So that one can even be used for mending also. They wasted a lot of material, my guys have. So we found that the reason why the water was not going through the drain was because the drainage pipe had collapsed. Apparently, the pipes were not very strong ones, so we asked a plumber to recommend and bring us the stronger ones. He actually also recommended the bigger pipes. I've just forgotten the inches. I don't know whether they were 8 inches or something like that, but he recommended much bigger inches than what was there before to speed up the process of draining the water. So we had to dig it out, and we were hoping that we would just pull it out, but it was a bit of a challenge. So the whole dike had to be removed at the section where you put the drainage pipe, and we also ensured that we dug deeper to make sure that the drainage is not higher as it was before, to avoid the water from collecting at the deeper end. The next thing we did was mending the pond liner. What you need is a maton cloth, some sandpaper, and some adhesive glue. We like to use tough stuff. So basically what you do, you need to make sure that the pond liner is dry. You can use the maton cloth to dry, and then after you dry, you make it roughish by gently rubbing with some sandpaper for the pond liners to be able to hold on to each other. And then you apply your glue, air it, and then stick the glue. So you continue doing that until you're done with your whole pond. For larger areas, if you have the heat gun, you could just use the heat gun. But in our case, we don't have a heat gun, so we just use what we have at our disposal, which is glue. So the dikes were raised, the pond was mended, in some places using brand new leftover pieces. Because we ran out of time, the owners had to complete the drainage with the help of a plumber, and they refilled the pond. It was ready for restocking. Hopefully, I'll be able to give you an update when I visit next. We are very grateful to NRDC and the NRDC students for giving us a helping hand during their holiday attachments. We're also grateful to the Fuse Farm team and to the Nangoma Farm team for this amazing work that we did. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification button. Bye. See you in the next video.